Hello everybody, it's me Nosy, and you join me yet again for another video. I did announce this earlier on my Facebook Nosy Info page, saying that I was going to be doing a video talking about Suicide Squad, a non-spoiler review / thoughts, with none other than
Firestorm.
Let's get straight into this. Start off with, what do you think about the film?
After waiting for a year, obviously they released the first trailer at Comic-Con last year. After waiting a year for this film and then going to see it, I could definitely forgive DC for Batman vs Superman. This film was very dark, gritty. I love the storyline. I thought the characters were done very well. The cast was very good, especially the way they did certain characters' flashback history. It was done in a way that very much gave you the origins of that character, and it was true to the comics. So with DC currently, I feel like DC are now getting onto the bandwagon with Marvel. We need to see more 15 rated comic book based films. Suicide Squad really sets the bar, I feel, for DC at the moment, and if they can keep up with what they've done there, they'll definitely work out on a sequel, because I heard there is going to be a sequel. And one interesting rumour about this sequel is it's going to be an 18 rated film, so that should be pretty interesting.
That is speculation up to now.
Well, yeah, but still, I'd love that, an 18 rated Suicide Squad.
To be honest, like Sam says, my opinion on this film is quite similar. I like the dark undertones of this film. I like the mature aspect to it. It's a film that it's quite an ambitious film, really. It is pretty ambitious. It's probably a more ambitious film that DC have put together, because, don't get me wrong, Batman vs Superman was an extremely ambitious film, but for me, it's that people was anticipating that film so much, and what we all was, it's Batman vs Superman. You know, probably one of the best DC comic book stories that happened, you know, that's been brought to the big screen. The film itself, it's okay, but it really does drag on. It really does drag. And the main focal point people went to see that film for, which was the whole part which was like Dawn of Justice, and also Batman vs Superman, which is the title. And that didn't happen till nearly at the end of the film. So getting back to Suicide Squad, so my opinion again, quickly, I like the dark undertones of the film. Like Sam said, my opinion to the film is quite similar to his. I like how they kind of brought the characters in. The characters were brought in a very clever way, a very comic booky way. The action was literally in your face, and it had to be, because these guys were criminals, and it had to be an in-your-face film.
Are we allowed to at least talk about the characters? What? It's not really going to be a spoiler.
Well, as long as you don't go too far.
Okay, look, it won't be a spoiler. I just want to say two things about characters. Now, I don't want to go into too much about characters, so just two things about two specific characters that I really liked. I absolutely loved Enchantress. I thought her character was very dark and very demonic, and definitely very different from the comic book version. And from what I've had a bit of a Google around about her character, and I feel like the film version portrayed her in a much more
darker light,
in a much more cinematic way. And then, very briefly, because I don't want to ruin it, Joker. Probably the most psychotic Joker I've ever seen on screen, and I'll leave it at that.
But no, like I say, I really did like Harley Quinn. Really did like Harley Quinn. I thought she was
right.
She was
just right, really, for the part.
Well,
you know, it was done well.
The actress has played her very well. She was the character was very, very good, and I do like that she was saying, you know, like, as we all know, like, hey, Puddin'.
They got an origin story in it, right? I like the origin story for her.
Basically, how the characters, the way they developed them, the way they kind of, you know, about them was very clever and very subtle, but very clever. Joker, again, Jared Leto, he really did a great job. Unfortunately, I have heard Jared Leto isn't very happy about the final product because apparently
They cut a lot
apparently
out.
they cut a lot of the Joker's scenes out the film. And I know the Joker isn't the main focal point of this first Suicide Squad.
The thing is, just to quote there, John, about Joker, if you look at the trailers, it's kind of done in a way to state he was the main villain.
Yeah, because I think what they did apparently I've also seen another article where they might be suing the production company for
False advertising.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Because essentially, what they were trying to do, they were trying to cover up with like the Joker, with him laughing, and with him saying the things that you saw in the Comic-Con trailer that came out a bit ago. Basically, that was kind of all there to kind of make you think, holy shit, he's the bad guy.
It was Justin Bieber. Deadshot is $1. Can you take him out? Do it for free.
Yeah, so characters, Harley Quinn, I really liked. Joker, thought was brilliant. Really psychotic. Because basically, apparently Jared Leto, on set, he was Joker.
Well, yeah, apparently on set he went crazy. It really freaked people out.
Yeah, apparently he was a little bit. Remember the guy who played Heath Ledger? Yeah, he went a little bit like that.
Yeah, apparently Heath Ledger went to a donut shop as Joker. Apparently.
Yeah, he basically on set he would talk to people and he would linger around the set as Joker. His mindset is Joker. He is not Heath Ledger, or was Heath Ledger, rest in peace. But he was the character, even behind the scenes. So Jared Leto kind of, I don't know if it was because of Heath Ledger's influence, but he kind of, he also adopted kind of like, it was like a Jekyll and Hyde thing where he basically became the Joker behind the camera as well. Also, I really did like, what was it, the guy with the fire guy?
Diablo.
I thought Diablo was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought he was depicted really well. I liked that he felt, the way that his character was brought into it, and I really liked it the way he got involved throughout, once he got involved later on in the film. So moving away from that, so we're going to get to the point where people, now discussion time. That's our thoughts and opinion. We thought it was a good film, we liked it, so on. So moving on to discussion part is mainly about
cake.
No, basically mainly about the critics side. But before before you go nuts, I'm just gonna say is that, don't get me wrong, or any of us was wrong. The critics, at the end of the day, they are, they're expressing an opinion just like me and him are.
But they get paid to do it.
Yeah, but they obviously didn't like the film personally. Some of them, anyway. Now, Rotten Tomatoes, as everybody knows, they saw the film. Obviously, it was released. It must be in the American premiere, and they pretty much slaughtered it. And that's all over the internet. And basically, a petition was put up in response to this to close them down because, pretty much, it's another DC film, and they slaughtered Batman vs Superman. But yet, I didn't like Batman vs Superman that much either. So I'm kind of with Rotten Tomatoes on that one. I usually go to see a film and have my own opinion. I go and see a film and I'll make my own opinion of it. But when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's kind of etched this thing into where it's become not just Rotten Tomatoes, but other movie critic groups or critics, whether they're individual, on their own, or if they're part of a website or something. More and more of them are really bashing this film. And I don't know whether it's a group effort or if it's just one of those things, it's the way it's happened, it's just the way it is. The main movie critics just don't like it. But yet the main fan base, or a majority of the fan base and average cinema goer are enjoying the film, and they've already reached the amount it took to make the film, and a sequel's already been confirmed. So
critics.
I did not know who was going to do this, people.
Why do you hate this film? I mean, you're entitled to your opinions, but this is a great film. Now, for some strange reason, vast majority of critics seem to have loved Paranormal Activity. That's barely even a film. It's like saying 50 Shades of Grey is a great piece of literature, when it is not. It makes you want to rip your eyes out. Now, as for Suicide Squad, this film is so good, and you now hate it. I need to know why. Why?
Sam, this is your opinion over other people's opinion.
Yes.
Without going right into the camera, let's have a proper opinion. What do you think about the way it's all happening with the critics kind of really hammering this down? I know it's their opinion and so on. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt here, but do you think it's kind of a group thing, they're kind of pouncing on it? Or do you think it's just the way it is, the way it's just happened, it's just a coincidence? Or do you think it's just they just don't like it more of a Batman, proper comic?
You go back 20 years, 20-ish years. DC were the big guys in cinema. They were making, you had the Batman films, they were amazingly doing well. And then in the last 10 years, Marvel's just become huge in the big screen. So it makes you wonder if these critics are basically kind of giving DC films a bad name. I can understand Batman vs Superman, but when you look at Suicide Squad, is it being given a bad name because these critics want to keep up the good air for Marvel? Now, personally, that's just stupid, but stick with it. Form your own opinion on a film. And if a critic doesn't like it, well, a critic doesn't like it. But at the end of the day, I thought Suicide Squad was a brilliant film. It was truly enjoyable. I look forward to seeing it again.
I think that's all we're going to talk about.
Yes.
That's pretty much.
Pretty much.
So, you sure you want any last minute things you want to add? That's related to the film?
Well, I don't want to go into the plot, so no.
No, okay. So, yeah, so we're going to leave it there, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. So, pretty much that was our, hopefully, non-spoiler review on Suicide Squad and what we thought of it, what characters we thought was really good. And, well, actually, I will add this, Enchantress, right? Basically, she also, I really did like how she was done in the film. The only thing is, there's something later on. Enchantress, you know when you see her, basically in the posters, she's pretty much all demonic, like black and glowy eyes. I loved her like that. I thought she was awesome. And I also really liked how...
You're on about the near the end.
Yeah, but don't. So basically, I really did like how I preferred a demonic look, but yeah, some of the comic book fans would be like, "Oh yeah, that's what she should have looked like." But anyway,
I would serve her without a single hesitation. What's wrong with wanting to serve a demonic woman?
Nothing.
Fantastic, we both agree on that.
So, my friends, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. So, until next time. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye. And peace.